Wolverhampton City Council Solicitor Alexander Watts, in a witness statement, states that Mr. Gary Peck and his music course, along with his emails, number 8, the defendant continued with his persistent email correspondence. The claims in his emails were fanciful, bordering on paranoid, with no evidence to back them up. At last, a music course to teach music in schools correctly. I sent this video to Ofsted and the Department for Education in 2013. It proves that children could have been taught to read sheet music in 2012. So why have the music hubs and Ofsted deliberately misled ministers and MPs? Nick Gibb, MP in 2019, wants every child in primary to read sheet music. Mr. Gibb, MP in 2019, also wants to create a new model curriculum. Why, when I have already designed one in 2008 to cover up the fraud that the music hubs have been doing since 2012? I'm recording now, Macaulay. So what's your name?
Macaulay Allen.
How old are you?
9 years old.
9 years old. And which school do you go to?
Hague Primary.
Hague Primary. And what year are you in?
Year 5.
Now, I've been giving you some music lessons. Is that correct?
Yes, you have.
Now, can you confirm what you've learned, right? You've learnt the musical alphabet.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
You understand tones and semitones.
Easy peasy.
You know where every note is on the guitar and keyboard.
Yep, that's easy enough.
You can construct the major scale in every key.
That's the easiest out of all of it.
You understand circular fifths.
Yep.
You understand circular fourths and fifths.
Yep.
You can construct chords.
Yep.
And you can construct key signatures from memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you close your eyes, please?
Yes.
Right. Can you say your musical alphabet?
A flat A, B flat B, C sharp D, E flat E, F sharp G.
And how many notes in a tone?
2 notes.
How many notes in a semitone?
1 note.
How do you sharpen a note?
You got 1 note.
How do you flatten a note?
You got down 1 note.
Father.
Father Charles goes in and ends battles. Battle ends and then goes Charles' father.
Can you say the major scale construction?
Yeah. 1, 3, 5.
No, the major scale.
Oh, root not tone, tone, semitone, tone, semitone.
So, you know all that, dear. So what's the tone up from B?
C sharp.
What's the tone up from C?
D.
D. What's the tone up from G?
A flat. A.
A. How's a major chord made?
1, 3, 5.
How's a minor chord made?
1 flat and the 3rd, 5th.
Now we're going to scales. Can you construct the pentatonic minor scale?
1 flat and the 3rd, 4, 5th, flat and 7th, 8th.
And the blues scale?
1 flat and the 3rd, 4 flat and the 5th, 5th, flat and 7th, 8th.
Very good. Open your eyes now. That's very good. How many key signatures are there?
30.
Very good. And you can construct them all from memory.
Yes.
So, how do you do it from memory?
You won't go through the 5 charts, you go around twice, and the first set is containing sharps and flats.
Very good. Yep. And how long did it take you to learn all that?
About an hour.
And who else can do that?
My friend Millie, my friend Owen, my friend Jack, my friend Isabel, and my friend Cameron.
So they can all do what you do.
Yeah, in an hour.
Yeah.
So,
can we now have a look at your music folder? So if you just open your folder up.
yeah.
Right, right. If you turn it round that way there, just point there like that, there. Right.
That's me. I can do that.
You can do all
Making
that.
a sense of everything.
Yeah.
I can do all that.
That's the musical alphabet.
Yeah, these are called the natural notes. Then this is the flat sign and this is the sharp sign.
Yeah.
And the second part are called the accidental notes. I can do all this, I can fill it all in. On that, I can
So you know where every note is on the keyboard.
I know where all the notes are. I know how to do this.
Understanding tones and semitones.
Yeah, I can fill this in myself.
That's the major scale for
Yeah,
you.
I can fill that tells you about the major scale and what's on it.
This is chord construction.
Yep, I can do all these.
See? So there's a major chord made.
1, 3, 5.
And there's a minor chord made.
1 fret on the 3rd, 5th.
Yeah, very good. Open it up. Yeah.
I can fill these in.
So these are your worksheets
Yeah.
for your chords on your guitar.
And my
And your
working out
keyboards.
chords.
Yeah.
Then I can do
Circle of fifths.
Yeah. I can fill this in myself.
Now this, what is this? Key signature.
Yeah, you fill that all in. That's I, 1, 1. You have I,
No.
I and 1.
What's that one there?
I, 1,
C.
C. Then Father Charles goes down. And then this section you go around on flats. And then you go over I there. So when you go Father Charles goes down and ends, it's Father Charles goes down and ends battles. Yep, then that's it.
This is notation now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do this. It's like G, I.
All the way up, yeah.
Nothing.
No durations.
And then, yeah. And then I can do the time measure. And that's it for my folder.
Now, could you please do the circle of fifths?
We start with the the key C, and we go C to G, G to D, D to A to E, E to B, B to F sharp to C sharp, which we then convert C sharp to D flat, C sharp to A flat to E flat to B flat to F.
And you can do all that. Complete the circle of fifths. Okay. The camera, please. I'll just bring that back into the camera. Put that one back there. Yeah. Just hold it up a little bit more. Right. This is a song progression in the key of A. Yeah. Could you turn it down and put it on the table, please? There it is, in the key of A. 12 bar blues riff in the key of A, chords 1, 4 and 5, A, D and E. So could you turn that to the key of A? And what chords do we use?
A, D and E.
Now can you transpose that song into the key of A flat, please? And if we was playing that chord now, that song now, what chords would we be using?
A flat, D flat and E flat.
Now could you transpose it into the chord of G? And if we was playing that song and transpose it into the key of G, sorry, what chord would we be using?
G, C and D.
Thank you very much. Can you please pick up the pen, Lauren? And can you fill it in, please? Could you turn that round to the camera, please? Hold it up under your chin again. Bring this down. You're now going to construct key signatures from memory. Yeah, put down on the table, put it in place. Roll the paper up. Just move it that way a bit. Okay. Just out the sun. Some light shining on the paper.
So just to remind you really that when we published the report, What Hubs Must Do, a year and a bit ago now, we had this coffee to smell, which is that, you know, the teaching of music in many schools is not as good as we would want it to be. And generally speaking, the cause of that is the leadership within the school. It's usually the senior leadership team who don't really understand what music might achieve for the school or what it's for, who tend to make it difficult for music teachers, whether they're generalist teachers or specialist teachers, to do the very best job they can.
Mr. Amerton has seen a video that proves the school curriculum can now be taught correctly in schools. Mr. Amerton knows my music course is designed to teach the music curriculum. Have you designed a music curriculum without a genre at all? Mr. Amerton knows this is correct and chooses to fail every child in every school to cover up the fraud the music hubs are doing. Here we have the Ofsted report, What Hubs Must Do. I have sent this clip to Alexander Watts, legal solicitor for Wolverhampton City Council. She refuses to look at the evidence. Ofsted stated, many primary schools considered without good reason that pupils were not ready for such learning involving musical theory and believed they would not enjoy it. Here we have test papers filled in by primary pupils that prove music education according to OCR GCSE Music Specification J535 and J536 can now be taught in schools. This was sent to both Ofsted and the Department for Education. So now why is Mr. Gibb wanting to create a new school curriculum? This proves that fraud has taken place. Music hubs could have rectified music in schools in 2012. So how much money have they been paid and chosen not to do this? Here we have music hubs and music experts creating fake news. The BBC are publishing reports that there are cuts to music funding education in schools. School music teachers, who are members of the Musicians Union, have complained to the Musicians Union that music teaching in school is not up to standard and are putting the blame on funding cuts. Mr. Gibbs states, one of the first announcements I made was that funding for music education would increase from £58 million in 2014 to 2015 to £75 million in 2015 to 2016. And in November last year I announced that music education would continue to receive £75 million every year until 2020. If you total all that up, the amount is £433 million the music hubs have received in funding. So have there been any funding cuts? No. Here we have Birmingham Music Service. They state on their website, you may or may not have noticed, but due to government funding cuts, music provision in schools has declined over the last few years. There has never been any funding cuts. This is deliberate false information. I am now on bail and are due to appear at Magistrates Court. In the police files given to me, it states that I was arrested for harassment, damage offences when patient attended a local school and smashed a window, stating that he believed there was a conspiracy against him. While in custody at Wolverhampton Police Station on the 28th of January 2019, I was seen by a mental health nurse. She stated the male, me, was showing signs of obsession and paranoid thoughts towards the education system, who he believed were against him
setting up his own business. You have seen that I can teach children music correctly in schools. So is there a conspiracy against me? Yes, there is. Mr. Gibb gives me permission to contact schools directly, which I have done. In the police file it states I went to a school and smashed a window. This is complete fabrication. I have never been arrested, nor did I do such a thing. This is a tactic to stop the truth from being known.